In this segment, all praises due for the first all praises due icon, we're going to go with the most honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey, the founder of the United Negro Association, born in 1887 of Black August, and in 1919 founded the largest Black organization that at its peak counted among 2 million active members, organizing across the globe for African upliftment and African liberation and Pan-African reunification, which had as a major component repatriation to the continent. Garvey was such a powerful force that the intelligence agencies were brought to bear, and Garvey and the Garveyite movement was seen as a threat on the level of Bolshevik world communism at the time. Garvey, of course, taught us that we were Africans at a time where we were taught to be ashamed of our heritage, that we came from a savage, dark, and uncivilized place. Garvey not only organized us, but used the inspiration of the accomplishments and greatness of our ancestors to inspire us. Garvey embarked on a 38-state lecture tour. He wrote it clearly and concisely his philosophies and opinions, and he founded a journalistic infrastructure to report the atrocities and to report the agenda of his organization. Garvey's movement was as much an intellectual and cultural struggle as it was a militant and grassroots and political struggle, which is, I think, a lot of times we have lost the ideological, cultural, and intellectual components of the larger struggle. But I digress. So, Garvey founded formations such as the Black Star Line, the African Legions, the Black Cross Nurses Association, the Negroes Factory Corporation, Negro World Publications, and several other formations that were not only populated by oppressed Africans under Jim Crow, but used the Garvey investment and the Black Star Line Investment Corp to raise funds on a grassroots level from sharecroppers and laundry and housekeepers and laundrymen and women in order to finance one of the biggest, broadest Pan-African movements the world has seen, that we have not met or surpassed his accomplishments almost a century later, or more than a century later at this point. So, one of the, in more recent history, the Biden administration granted a pardon to Garvey 85 years after his fall, because Garvey, in order to subvert his movement, he was arrested on securities fraud, taken from Harlem, New York to Atlanta, put in a dank cell where he developed lifelong respiratory issues and basically negotiated with the federal government that they would release him if he never promised to never set foot in the U.S. And in reality, he did still try to run the organization indirectly by coming to Canada to meet with the leadership, and they would come up from New York up to Canada to meet with him. But at that time, the movement had been hollowed out, thoroughly infiltrated and routed by J. Edgar Hoover, FBI, and the OSS. But we still, to this day, greatly benefit from his accomplishments. Garvey has inspired everything from the Rastafarian movement, who referred to Marcus Garvey as Black Moses, to every single RBG, Black nationalist, Black liberationist movement of modern times. I'd like to wrap this up by sharing some quotes from the most honorable Marcus Garvey, some of my favorite quotes. One is, a people without the knowledge of their past history, origin, or culture is like a tree without roots. Also, one God, one aim, one destiny. Now, I personally read that to say one people, one aim, one destiny. But I think the message is very clear. And finally, if you, I repeat, must be free, you yourselves must strike the first blow. All praises due to the most honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey. May we all work to become worthy of his sacrifice of this great ancestor. Thank you.
Ashe, Ashe, Ashe.
Ashe.